It's that time of the month again. It is time for the best of Board Game Geek.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike.
I'm Nick.
We are the Brothers Murph, and it is again time.
It's time
to talk about
We do this
Board
every
Game
month,
Geek. What's going on in the gaming sphere? Bit of news, the hottest games of the month, of course, what everyone wants to know.
Of course.
And with Gen Con having just passed, there's a lot of different stuff coming on, and actually a lot of things that we've played. So let's go ahead and get into some Board Game Geek news. All right, so we have some news regarding BGG at Sea, which is, of course, the Board Game Geek cruises. Now, starting in 2024, as was announced, there will be 2 cruises every year, one based out of a port in the US of A, and one that's kind of lets people explore the wide world. So we have 2 cruises next year. I'm gonna pull up my information, I'm sure I get this right. First one's gonna be from June 30th to July 7th, departing out of Barcelona, Spain. It's the Enjoy the Mediterranean cruise with stops in Spain, France, and Italy. So right there in summer, peak season for travel. And then they have one that I'm personally so excited for, is the Experience the Fall Colors cruise. That'll be the US-based one. That's gonna be leaving out of Cape Liberty, New Jersey, and it's gonna be from September 12th to 21st, a little bit longer if I have my math right. It's gonna have ports in Boston, Portland, Sydney, Halifax, and the Bay of Fundy. So going right up the northeastern seaboard, checking out all the fall foliage and stuff. That sounds like something that's really cool. I've never heard of a cruise doing that specific route before, so that just seems really different. Super exciting. So 2 cruises starting this next year and moving forward. Get all your information right there on Board Game Geek at the home page, right there at the top. There'll be information for how to register, how to get more information, and so check it out and join us on the seas.
Some Board Game Geek news is there's a store update, the August store update. So there are some new promos for Earth and a whole bunch of other promos. BG always has a lot of promos, but there are a ton of new promos. And honestly, new stuff for Earth sounds really, really cool. There are some new accessories, like some Carcassonne maps, and there are some new things, or some things back in stock from the Geek Up sets, like the Scythe bags. You can store everyone's factions up in a bag. It looks really, really nice. Make sure to check out the Board Game Geek store for all sorts of Geek Up bits, accessories, promos, games, all sorts of different stuff. So that was a little bit of Board Game Geek news. Now let's get down to the table and talk about the hottest games of the month. Are you hot? Yeah, we're doing the hottest.
Getting hot.
Good intro. Number 10 is going to be Great Western Trail, New Zealand.
Baby, yes, please.
Which we have played at this point. There's actually a decent amount of stuff because a lot of these are Gen Con games. We actually had a chance to play some of these, which is nice.
Yeah.
Great Western Trail New Zealand is the newest version of Great Western Trail, the ending of this trilogy, which is Great Western Trail Argentina, and then Great Western Trail New Zealand.
Right.
And it's really, really fun. This one it's got some, I would say it's more different from the original than Argentina was, yeah?
Definitely. There's just more going on. There's, they borrow ideas from the Rails of the North expansion for the original Great Western Trail, where there's kind of this other board, but you can now sail around and choose different directions to go and really kind of explore.
Really fun part of it.
Which is really, really cool. And you're kind of putting out these little buildings and stuff like
warehouses.
That. You can now do 2 things with the sheep. First of all, sheep different than cows. And you can send them off and make deliveries kind of like normal Great Western Trail, or you can, using certain buildings, shear those sheep and basically sell the wool.
And deliver that wool, kind of like you deliver normal stuff,
Yeah, so there's kind of 2 delivery types you can make.
Yeah.
I think both are valid. As you go up and explore that top board, you can gain new spaces to deliver wool and stuff like that. So there's just a lot of things like that I'm like, that's pretty different. Being able to do a second type of delivery has never been done. A lot of stuff like that. So there's just a lot.
And when you shear those sheep, you also get money for it.
Yeah,
kind of like you get from breeding value. So it's a good way to get money. But things, I think in this game, it feels like more expensive. So, but it's very cool. I really like it. I love the look of it. It's cool. There's all these like extra bonus cards and like extra deck building cards that have nothing to do with sheep or anything like that, which are very interesting.
They fundamentally changed the way that the tiles come out with like employees.
Yeah.
And there's these bonus tiles.
It's very different.
It's incredibly different while still being Great Western Trail.
And it's Great Western Trail New Zealand. It's really, really fun. It's a good one. Number 9 is a new expansion for Dune Imperium. This is Dune Imperium Uprising.
You know it.
Which is, it looks like for the most part, kind of like a more stuff expansion. There's like new cards and deck building cards, new stuff to do. But there's also now like, it expands to I think 6 players and it adds like a team mode.
You can play teams.
Yeah,
you know,
pretty cool.
In Dune, like it is about
it's factions.
It's about factions and families and stuff teaming up, loose alliances and things.
Yeah,
I think it kind of fits in.
And stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it fits in well. Yeah, so you can play up to 6 if you want. I feel like that'd be a very long game.
And this is compatible with the other 2 expansions, which is cool. But yeah, it seems like for the most part, this is kind of a more stuff expansion. But with a game like Dune Imperium, especially deck building games in general,
you can always do more cards.
More stuff is always great, right? And so people love Dune Imperium, and I'm sure this will people will like it even more now because of this. So yeah,
absolutely.
Dune Imperium Uprising. Number 8 is Expeditions, Mikey.
Expeditions, it's kind of been around in the hotness for a while because I feel like Expeditions released, 3 odd months ago now.
Or at least, more or less. Yeah.
Or at least a pre-order started rolling out. So this is the kind of sequel or in the world of Scythe follow-up. Where you're going to be rolling around with the mech and stuff, but it's kind of more about exploration and card play and not direct kind of conflict. It's more racing for objectives and stuff like that. So this is one I'm personally really interested because
I do want to play it,
one thing I like is when you have cards and you have your kind of little player board and you can slot in cards depending on what you're doing, I think on all 4 sides of your player board to kind of give yourself upgrades and endgame scoring stuff and all sorts of things. So this is one I'm really excited to try, and especially because for us, the mechs are super neat. For us, like Scythe, which we still enjoy and everything, is hard to get to the table, so I wonder if this will be easier to get to the table. I don't know. We haven't played it. But so we're curious about that one.
Yeah, indeed. So that's Expedition number 8. Let's get number 7. So number 7 is the next in the Terra Mystica verse. Mikey's not this excited for Age of Innovation.
I'm here with it. So excited.
Age of Innovation is the next game in the Terra Mystica
Extended Universe,
which is a thing now. They're making movies soon because we have like Terra Mystica, the OG, we have Gaia Project, which is like Space Terra Mystica, Terra Nova, which is like a beginner Terra Mystica, and now Age of Innovations, which is all about bees.
Yeah, you know it. It is a.
It's not about bees.
From what we can tell, again, we haven't played this one, and kind of an update to Terra Mystica. From what I've just seen and looking at, it feels like Gaia Project took Terra Mystica and kind of leveled it up. Now there's multiple, 6 different tracks you can go up and stuff. It looks like Age of Innovation takes what Gaia Project did and bring it back to the Terra Mystica fantastical verse, which is one that we're personally more interested in than space, although I do love Gaia Project very much.
You do.
But I'm like, if they took what they did with the improvements of Gaia Project and bring it back, we got an all-timer on our hands. We got literally an all-time game. So I'm very excited to try this one. I think we're getting it soon.
I think so. I almost picked up at Gen Con, and then I was like, it's a little big. I don't know if I have space, so I didn't get it.
It takes up some space.
And so I think we're planning on getting it here soon. I do really want to play it.
Yeah, so Age of Innovation. Let us know if you played it out there, and if I'm right about, is that kind of what they did? It seems like it's Gaia Project, Gaia Project was Terra Mystica 2.0, so this is Terra Mystica 3.0.
There you go.
I'm into it. That's what I'm saying.
Here for it.
But that is Age of Innovation, number 7 on the hotness today.
Let's get number 6. Number 6 we played recently on a plane.
Boom.
And this is Sky Team, which is really tempting fate now that I think about it.
It's just like when it's not going well, you're like,
hope no one sees it.
When you lose the game, you are crashing a plane.
But we did play this on a plane on the way back from Nashville.
Played on the tray table in between us. We were on.
We were taking a 6 a.m. flight on a Sunday back to LA from Nashville, so it was a very empty flight. So we were like, let's try and play Sky Team right now, and it's really fun. This is a game where it's a 2-player game where one player is the pilot, one player is the co-pilot, and you are rolling out your dice. You have to assign your dice to different parts of the plane, and the pilot and co-pilot can do different things, and so you have to safely land the plane, which means you have to get other planes out of the way. They have to land before you get there. You have to manage your approach. You can't come in too quick. You can't come in too late and crash before you get there. You have to manage the tilt of the plane.
Level. You gotta have your landing gear down. You gotta have your flaps deployed.
Your brakes going good. You gotta have lots of coffee. It's really fun, kind of tense game because you're rolling out. You talk about what you want to do. Like, okay, let's try and do this. You roll your dice, and you're no longer allowed to talk, and you're rolling it behind a screen.
Yeah, so we don't know what each other has.
Mike doesn't know what I have, and so I'm like, I'm gonna put this tilt. I'm gonna put a 6 on the tilt, and Mike's like, my highest die is a 2.
We are going to go upside down, I think.
Because there's a whole bunch of ways to lose this game. It's really, really fun. We did successfully land after our 3rd try. Yeah. But we didn't tell anybody about the first 2 crashes on the plane.
Listen, if you have a 33% win rate in baseball as a hitter, you are in the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Famer.
If you have a 33% as a pilot,
You're
not a pilot anymore.
Yeah,
you know, and it's
exactly.
just different stuff. It's just different stuff.
different sports, you know, different strokes, different folks.
Yeah.
Sky Team's really, really fun. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to play some of the other airports, which add all these different rules to it.
And there's different scenarios. There's a lot to explore.
Yeah.
We just played the base, going into Montreal, base.
Still tough. Yeah, so it's really, really fun. Love Sky Team. It was super cool. Played it on a plane today. And let's go to 5. Number 5 is Joyride, Survival of the Fastest. There's a lot of racing games right now.
We're in a racing era.
Yeah.
And
they're all very different, but like there's a lot of racing games.
We have Heat, Thunder Road Vendetta, Joyride,
and then Dungeon Kart.
Yeah, Kart. There's a lot, and that's just the stuff that is sort of right now.
Yeah.
So in this one, you're going through a race, and it's sort of in a Mad Maxy kind of post-apocalyptic world where stuff's just kind of rough and all that jazz, and you're going through this race where you can kind of strategically crash into each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll cause damage to your car. Sometimes it'll, if you rear end somebody, it's actually will just kind of slow you down.
Yeah,
you can push a car forward, so it's a good way to slow down while staying in a high gear. What's really interesting here is like you can basically steer once on a turn for the most part. You can do it twice if you're in second gear specifically. But the whole getting in the right, hitting a turn at the right angle to get that kind of straightaway that you want is actually kind of puzzly.
It is.
And then there's, of course, since it is a weird world, land mines, oil slicks, rockets, you can fire at each other and blow each other up. So there's kind of a nice mix of stuff.
We've got a chance to play it, and it's like the turning around corners, and you do feel like you're driving where you're constantly have to shift up and down to try and get around these corners.
Yeah.
It's really, really fun. I actually really enjoyed it. It's cool. It's got a great look, and it's just, and then you have also, of course, all different maps with different obstacles in the way, so you're changing up the game each time. It was cool. I really liked it a lot.
Yeah, really fun. Fun to shift up and down. That is Joyride, Survival of the Fastest at number 5.
Let's get number 4. Number 4, I feel like this is a more common theme that we talked about Terra Nova earlier.
Yes.
This is going to be Pirates of Maracaibo, which is kind of like an intro, a slightly
kind of like a more family version of Maracaibo, where some of the card play and stuff I think is familiar, but it's got a simplified rule set.
Yes.
It's a way into some of these bigger, heavier games where now you're swashbuckling pirates. You're trying to be kind of the most famous pirate in the land by going around and playing cards out and stuff like that, and then hopefully retiring to some secluded island, they say, and you can kick back and drink coconut drinks with little nice umbrellas in them and stuff.
Nice.
This is one I'm personally interested in because like the gameplay of Maracaibo is really interesting. That card play in particular is awesome. I think this feels like maybe it'll be more card based and stuff, but you are still going around 3 loops of kind of through a board. And you're getting to take the role of a pirate. So that could be very fun.
I like this. I like this trend of like the Terra Novas, the Horizons of Spirit Island, or whatever it's called.
Bring people into a game.
Because I feel like one of the biggest problems publishers of complicated games have is they have such a huge learning curve.
Yeah.
And so
Sometimes
it's like finding a game that you can get people into, then move them up, or if they just want to stay there, that's also fine. I think it's really cool. And I like this kind of trend that we're having with board games, because if you already have Maracaibo or Spirit Island, you don't want the other one, just don't get the other one. Perfect, done. And so I just think it's cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. Very curious to see. I think Pirates of Maracaibo is going to be an Essen release, or very possibly.
I was somewhere on there,
so it should be coming up right up, but it's number 4 on the hotness. That is Pirates of Maracaibo.
Number 3, we've got a chance to play. We're very excited for. This will be an Essen release from Board&Dice. This is Nucleum.
Indeed. Nucleum is by Simone Luciani and David Turczi. And having played it, it's got some DNA of like Brass Birmingham and Barrage in there, and you are ultimately building out networks to cities and powering them using this newfangled nuclear power.
Yeah, and coal power, if you want to.
Coal power. You're kind of moving out of the coal and into the nuclear age. So it's really kind of like you're playing these action tiles on a turn that'll have 2 actions on them, and you're really kind of chained together and get as much out of a turn as possible. One thing we found is really cool is I think there's kind of like 4 main actions, maybe 5. And they're all kind of straightforward.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's kind of building up stuff. You can do an energized action where you're moving your stuff around to power up cities specifically, which will allow you to flip a tile.
That's the complicated one. All the rest of them are very quick. It's a pretty snappy in terms of back and forth kind of game.
Yeah, you get more action tiles to do by the develop action, which gives you different combinations of actions you can play in a turn. But then all those tiles you collect are also what go out to build out the rail networks that connect city to city. So you're kind of constantly
needing to get new tiles.
Getting new tiles and evolving what actions you have available.
Yeah.
And then spending out those tiles to build your networks.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then there's like when you do the you can recharge rather, so you can essentially place a tile to do the actions, place on the board, which also allows you to do actions, or you can recharge, which essentially means you're gonna get income and you're also gonna get your tiles from the top of your board back. And you do that, you get to put out these milestone markers, which are give you like end game scoring, which is cool. Everyone has a unique technology board where you can get all these different technologies, which sometimes be like instant things, ongoing abilities, or a special end game scoring one. It's just cool. It's got a lot going on. It's really, really good. I really enjoyed it. And there's just so many different ways to explore and try stuff and do this and do that. I thought it was a blast.
There's definitely different paths and stuff. You can build mines and all sorts of stuff. So
all-star team from an all-star publisher.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like it's the perfect kind of like
for us
board and dice game, which means it's usually a perfect game for us as well. We tend to like their games a lot. But that's number 3 in the hotness, Nucleum. A lot of people are pretty excited about this one and coming up real soon here.
Yeah, indeed. Let's get number 2. Number 2, we've also got a chance to play, and this is Ascendancy.
It's been a good month for us playing stuff, yeah.
It has been a good month for us playing stuff. We played Ascendancy. This is, I think, just ended their campaign, or at least very close to it. But this is a big old fantasy 4X game.
Yes.
But it's a 4X game that's actually relatively approachable, especially if you're being, I feel like if you're being taught the game.
Yeah.
If you're the one learning the rule book, it's kind of a lot. But if you're being taught it, you're like, oh, it's not that bad. But it's cool because everything in the game takes place on these trays. They're essentially 4 different phases of the game.
Yep.
And you put your workers out in these different phases. If you put a worker out in phase 1, you can't then use them until the end of that round when you get them back. But the cool thing is, it's actually a relatively contained game because everything you need is on these different trays.
You only have to worry about one phase at a time.
Yeah, and stuff's not like sprawling all around. You can also like, if you need to do that, you like hand the tray to someone if you need to.
Yeah.
It's cool, but yeah, it's a big 4X game where everyone has a unique faction, their own tech tree, all these different tech cards. The games have all these different scenarios you can play. You can play all these different lengths of game. It's
You're finding big monsters to kind of conquer the lands. There's like a big mythical monster.
There's like team stuff, cooperative stuff, competitive stuff. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, everything that's gonna be in this box is
nuts.
Gives you a million ways to play, it seems.
Yeah.
And we only played one version of it, which was kind of like a straight up like get as many points as you can type of game.
Yeah, kind of the intro to the base game.
Yeah, but it's just set in a cool world, and like this is one where the kind of upgraded nature of the production really helps serve the gameplay, which is really nice. It does make it easier to play, which is something that we personally enjoyed during our play of it. So it's number 2, Ascendancy. Again, those types of big, sprawling games tend to get a lot of attention, and the fantasy theme is one that we think is really neat.
I like it. Yeah.
So that is Ascendancy at number 2.
Let's see, number 1. Number 1 took over Gen Con.
That's what I heard, man.
Took over Gen Con. This is Disney Lorcana. Lorcana was nuts at Gen Con. Yeah. There was lines of thousands of people every single day. People they open up, you could start standing in line at 4 p.m. the previous day for the next day's Lorcana. People were camping out overnight for it. It was nuts. This is the CCG trading card game, collectible card game. I'm not entirely sure what kind of CG it is, but it is a CG. From Robin's Burger, that is about Disney and has, Mickey, Minnie, all the different Disney characters from all the different cartoons and all the different shows. Although none of the IPs like Star Wars or Marvel, at least not yet.
No, Pixar hasn't made an appearance yet, but it's only the first chapter, which will do 3 chapters a year.
It's gonna be a whole thing. They'll get there. And it's kind of like a Magic. If you like Magic, this would be a simpler version of something like that, but it's a card game where you're playing cards, you're trying to get a certain amount of points.
Yeah, you're going on like quests and stuff. And I think the idea is that when you're playing, you are the writers of these stories, and you're trying to basically bring them to life.
Yes, exactly.
And questing and using ink as your currency.
Yeah, which is cool. And we didn't get it because I was like, I'm not standing that line. If I want to get it, I'll get it somewhere else later.
We'll get some starter pack someday to try the gameplay, which I hear is really fun. So.
Yeah, but we know people who've played it and they seem to really enjoy it. And I hope it's a way to get people into these. It might be a good pathway into like Magic if people want to play a game but want to get it a little bit heavier. It's cool. It seems cool. The art is absolutely outstanding, as is to be expected, and it seems cool. But it absolutely took over Gen Con. Gonna be around probably for a little while here, which is awesome. It's cool to see a new collectible card game that's that big and that popular. Maybe something I don't think anything's ever gonna really challenge Magic, But hey, it'd be cool if something did, you know?
Yeah, we'll see if this one has the staying power. There's always been ones that have popped up briefly, and this one with the Disney theme, I think really has a chance to...
Yeah, you can pull from a lot of stuff.
Yeah, to stay relevant for a long time. So time will tell on that, but that is the 10 hottest games of the month.
Yes.
And we're going to quickly, as we always do, go over the 10 most played games.
Yeah.
The ones that have been logged. You can log your games at BoardGameGeek as well.
True.
So let's see, what are the 10 most played games of the month?
So number 10, we had Seven Wonders Duel at 4,760 plays.
Right on. We've got the Crew Quest for Planet 9 at 4,810 plays.
Speaking of, we had Disney Lorcana, which had 5,027 plays, which is a decent amount considering it came out like this month.
It's already out here. It's
not even out in a lot of places, I think. Yeah,
it's
so
going to go up.
It's a lot of plays.
People are playing games. It's a quick game too. Spirit Island came out at 5,504 plays.
Cascadia was 5,592 plays.
Ooh, close. We got Sea Salt and Paper. That's getting into more and more people's hands. It's also on Board Game Arena. 7,131 plays.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah, that's cool.
It's getting up there. It's a great game.
Marvel Champions is always on the list with 7,240, but it's number 4 now, which is pretty nuts.
Wingspan, which has really been at the top for quite a while, I feel like, is at 7,452 plays.
Indeed, and Azul at number 2 at 7,912. And by a lot, Mikey, number 1.
As always, Arc Nova at 11,414 plays, almost 4,000 higher than any competitor.
Yeah, like 3,200 more.
Crazy.
Nuts. It's on. People love it. It's on BGA. I think it's getting.
I'm currently in the game, so I'm contributing to it.
Yeah,
for sure,
it's pretty nuts. So that is the 10 most played games of the month. Again, make sure to log your plays on BGG to manipulate this list, you know.
Yeah.
And okay, so that is the hottest games of the month. Let's stand up and go over some Murph picks. My Murph pick for this month is going to be this image right here by Nicholas Chapman. They are holding up a tile from Ra, which is showing Abu Simbel, and they are at Abu Simbel in real life, which is in Egypt, down south near, I believe, the border of Sudan. And they're holding up the tile because they're at the same location. And I love stuff like that. Mike and I have always had this dream to do this video series called Adventures in Board Gaming, where we take games and play them in their accurate locations, playing the Great Wall on the Great Wall, playing Castles of Burgundy in Burgundy, playing, different stuff, playing Terraforming Mars on Mars. Get wrecked, we'll do it. And so I love stuff like this. And so down in the comments, let me know what's a place you'd like to visit that's in a game, or what's a game you'd like to play in its accurate location and one that you can get to. So Mars, I think, is fair, but Alpha Centauri, maybe not. Probably a little while till we can get there. But nonetheless, I love stuff like this. I think it's super, super cool. I think it's a cool way to mesh like kind of the real world with board gaming. And I just thought it was really, really cool.
My Murph pick is an announcement of a game coming, a roll and write based on Grand Austria Hotel. This is Grand Hotel High Season. So this is a game that takes kind of what you're doing in Grand Austria Hotel, running a hotel, making guests happy, giving them food and drink and things so they come and stay at your hotel, and turns it into a roll and write. And this just made sense to us. When I first heard about this, I was like, yeah, Grand Austria Hotel can absolutely become a roll and write. You're gaining resources, then giving resources to guests. I'm not quite sure how it's all going to function. I imagine it'll still be dice-based, as is the main game anyway, and that might help you collect certain types of resources. Maybe you'll be ticking stuff off of boxes and all that. Whatever it is, I'm super in. I really enjoy roll and writes that recreate other board games. It's just fun to me. It's fun to see where they stay true, where they kind of create their own path. So I'm excited to see so much more. So this is Grand Hotel High Season, my Murph pick. I just cannot wait to find out more.
Alrighty, Mike, so at the very end of the video, we always talk about our favorite games of the month. It was a good month,
a
lot of like Gen Con stuff, a lot of cool stuff. So what was your favorite game of the month?
So much fun new stuff to play, right? Games that are hot off the presses, just now getting into people's hands. And with that, my favorite game of the month was Star Wars Rebellion.
Ooh.
I've never played it before.
First time, yeah.
Finally got after it.
Who were you? Were you the Rebel or the...
I was a Rebel Alliance.
Did you win?
Heck yeah. I blew up the Death Star with an X-Wing. I got thematic as heck on that one.
That's awesome.
It was the last gasp because Obi-Wan had turned to the dark side. It was not looking good for me. Yeah, dude, it went bad. But I got it done. That's what matters. This is a game we've heard about forever, obviously.
Yes.
It's so highly ranked and rated. So many people love it. Star Wars is so well loved, and it is Star Wars in a box, and it lived up to that title.
Yeah, right.
Where you have certain things that follow the storyline, certain things where the storyline goes this way. It was so satisfying. It was absolutely worth the wait. It was such a good time, and it actually wasn't as hard to get into and crazy as I thought it was going to be. So I was kind of like, why did I wait so long? But yeah, really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, super cool. My favorite game of the month is going to be the new Great Western Trail New Zealand. I really, really like to talk about it in the Hotness video.
So good.
I really, really like Great Western Trail New Zealand. It's super, super fun. Again, we already talked about some of the mechanics, but it's just cool. It feels, again, it's the most different from Great Western Trail. I really love the new stuff, like the way everything's broken up now. It's cool. It really feels like a whole new game, and I really, really enjoy it. I think it's probably going to end up being my favorite of the three. It's my assumption.
Spoilers.
It also looks the best. It's pretty. I like the sheep. There's dogs in it. It's very cool. So Great Western Trail New Zealand is my favorite game of the month. I really, really, really enjoy it.
Nice. I like that very much. So that's just our favorites of the month. Let us know in the comments below favorites for you, whether it's a new game, Gen Con release, old game like Star Wars Rebellion for me. What has been capturing your attention this month? Get those in the comments below. And until next time, I am Mike.
I'm Nick.
We are the Brothers Murph. We'll catch you all next month in the best of Board Game Geek.
Bye, everybody.